Like, imagine I didn't have delivery, imagine I didn't have Amazon, I'd have to go to the supermarket. Like, who does that these days? Forget the pandemic, who even goes to the supermarket? Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me in another video. Today I want to talk about FAANGS. It's been crazy. So the volatility and spikes that have been coming with the tech market at the moment has been insane. So Tesla this week peaked at 1677 and then lost 15% of its value to settle at 1417 at the end of last week. Intel lost a similar amount this week of about 15%. So what's going on in the market? With tech stocks, FAANG is a term that comes up a lot. What does it stand for? So this is the segment that created the highest number of millionaire investors and has created an immense value when it comes to the industry. So in this video I want to define what FAANGs are and how to get your teeth into the FAANGs of the future. Stay tuned till the end because I'll be giving you my top 3 FAANGs that I think we should be keeping our eyes peeled for. So what are FAANGs even? FAANGs were originally created with just one A, so at the moment it's FAANG, and it was an acronym that was coined in 2013. I think 2013, yeah, where we refer to the 4 highest internet growth stocks of the time, and those at the time were Facebook, Amazon, Netflix and Google. Can I just say, while I was researching this, I didn't realise how contagious Jeff Bezos's laugh is. Oh my god, if you don't know, get to know guys. If you don't know, just get to know. So back to it. There are a few variations of FAANG, and so that's FAANG and also FANA, as Google is also known as Alphabet, so it's all a little bit confusing when you think about it. Apple and Microsoft originally weren't in the original FAANG list, and you might be thinking, why not? They were like one of the biggest performing at the time. The reason for that is because originally Apple and Microsoft were known for making a fair chunk of their money from hardware and internet hosting, etc. Whereas FAANGs are purely software. The question is, should you buy FAANGs now? So I just want to make a couple of points on FAANGs in general, I suppose. Buying individual stocks is one way to do it. So you can go out and you can buy your Facebook, buy your Amazon, or buy your Apple, whatever you like, and that's one way to do it, fine, bingo. The other way is if you want to increase your FAANG exposure to other FAANG type stocks, then use an ETF. It's a no-brainer because you get diversified exposure. There are a few out there, so I looked at Invesco QQQ, the ETF, which is heavily correlated with the performance of FAANGs in general. So the original FAANG making would make up about 25% of the holdings. Then if you add Microsoft and Apple on top of it, you get about 50% of FAANG exposed holdings, which is great if that's what you're looking for. And then the other 50% is exposed to the other remaining popular tech stocks, you know, who like Tesla, and then the less sexy ones like Intel and Nvidia. Well, everyone needs someone. So the next thing I want to talk about is finding the FAANGs of the future. Get excited guys, because there are opportunities out there. The new Microsoft, the new Amazon, they're hovering out there in the distance, but where are they? How are we going to find these little golden nuggets? So finding the FAANGs of the future. So thinking generally about digitalization over the last 2 or 3 decades does actually show that tech is a mega trend, which has literally changed the face of how products and services are consumed in the market. If you think about our lives in general, everything from forming friendships, communities, to buying your groceries even has been completely revolutionized. Come on, like I literally spent both of my maternities with both the kids knowing that Amazon was at the tip of my fingertips. I could buy nappy wipes, nappies, anything that I needed on Amazon. And then being a full-time mum, I didn't have time to cook. Show me the genius woman out there and I will literally bow down to her, because I didn't have time to cook, guys. I was literally on Deliveroo, especially the first couple of months, trying to get my meals. Well, at least I know that my meals will be delivered on time. So technology has changed lives, especially for me. Like, imagine I didn't have delivery, imagine I didn't have Amazon, I'd have to go to the supermarket. Like, who does that these days? Forget the pandemic, who even goes to the supermarket? By the by, So all of this technology in our lives has revolutionized the way we live anyway. And to be honest, it's been completely supercharged by the coronavirus crisis as well. It's not only providing opportunities, but it's supercharging the digital capabilities of firms. So I see my husband working from home and he has like all of the latest tech that his firm has suddenly adopted because of coronavirus. When I speak to friends, it's the same for them in the places of work that they're in. The pressure is really being applied on technology firms to provide the goods for the demand in the market at the moment. And then couple that with the exponential advancements in computing. Guys, like things like bandwidth, getting good internet, we can literally become entrepreneurs overnight if you wanted to, because of the array of tools available and downloaded at your fingertips. I mean, who knew there were so many video editing softwares out there that you could make YouTube videos on? You know, there's accounting tools out there. Like when we were working on a restaurant, we automated all accounting on an online software platform. I won't say which. But it just meant all the numbers were being streamed in live, everything was interconnected. So all of these array of tools coming from software at our fingertips is revolutionizing industries that we work in. Compared to my school days, I had snail-paced internet. Do you guys remember dial-up days? Imagine your mum downstairs picking the phone up, trying to call her best friend or whatever, and your internet cuts out. Oh my gosh, that was the drama. Like AOL, guys, and then Yahoo chat rooms. By the by, remember carrying essays on floppy disks? Oh my gosh, I used to have a stack of floppy disks that I used to take to school and try and get my work on and off, and it used to be like 2 photos on one floppy disk. If you're an art student back then, you know what I mean. Floppy disks are such a big turn off anyway. So what I'm trying to say is the universe is creating a fascinating array of investment opportunities, and there's so much hysteria around the world on who are going to be the next titans. Now don't get me wrong, there are those Robin Hooders and those speculators that pile in fast on a tech company that show the charm of the Millennium Magic. Guys, I came up with this term myself, so let's make it a thing, yeah? What I'm trying to say is that these hypes can cause shares to go parabolic, and that's when they fail to meet the expectations that can result in stock collapse. We saw it in the past and we'll see it again, and history has this rough way of repeating itself, we all know that. So finding that sweet spot is always finding those companies that are quietly making profitable businesses, generating hard cash that will become the stalwarts of the future. Even if you don't, it would be so good to own a stock like this anyway, because they will eventually consolidate a FAANG type enterprise. Now, there's nothing to say that you can't invest in the original FAANGs right now. You can go ahead and do that, but much of their growth has already been priced in, and the explosive years of growth and hype are kind of gone behind them. And the reason for that is that these companies have institutional shareholders to manage, and they can't take the same levels of risk that they did when they were new startups. So it's not to say they won't appreciate in value in time. They will most likely. But if you are investing in a FAANG stock for FAANG-like returns, you probably need to look elsewhere. And you need to look for who the newbies are on the block. So how do we do it? Or what's the key to finding the next big FAANG then? So there is only one simple rule. That is to invest in small, medium-sized companies with compelling long-term growth prospects. And the objective here is to find established businesses that have demonstrated proof of concepts, they're profitable, you know, or they're on their way to profit and show great potential. And that's it. That is the only consideration that you have to look for. And then you're in the money, if you like. So I do want to talk about some options. So as I was doing some research and reading, there are a few companies that I want to mention, and I don't tend to do this often. I don't like creating hype anyway, but these were quite good because it showed the diversity within the industries. So I thought it would be quite good to include these. I tend to stock pick at the end of it in November every year, and I hold my stocks for an entire year, and then I review my stocks. So I do a lot of research for my portfolio before during the year, and then I make my big buys once a year. And to be honest, strict rules stop me from becoming a speculative trader, and they allow me to stay as an investor. Having said that, researching this week did give me some perspective, honestly. You have to remember there are hundreds and hundreds of companies in the market and in the segment, from hardware producers, IT providers, you know, data analytics, hardware, software, it goes on and on and on. And I'm not even a techie, guys. Here's an interesting story for you. Last year I was heavily invested in a small cap stock called iEnergizer, and it was really difficult to find out what they actually do. But what they do is provide business outsourcing even. The interesting thing is the stock doubled while I held it. I did end up selling it in November 2019 in my reshuffle, because I have quite a strict set of rules when I'm profit taking and when I'm selling. For that, I'll show you my video. I'll link my video down there below in the description box, so you can have a look at what my rules are if you're interested in that sort of thing. But what I'm trying to say is there's also a sub-segment of disruptive companies that use technology to disrupt and redefine industries, honestly. We all know that the biggest disruptor of them has been Amazon, but we also have companies that redefine existing ways of doing business now. So now I come to my top 3 companies that we have to keep our eyes out for. So the first one I want to talk about is ServiceNow. Who are ServiceNow even? So ServiceNow are a company that provide workflow automation. And honestly, they probably save companies thousands of dollars and pounds and what have you by employing less people to do the job. If you're a business owner, that's what you have to do, because you want to keep your costs low. So if there's technology that will do that, yes, there's some ethics behind whether you're making people redundant and, you know, all of that. But the point is, there's technology out there that we can be implementing. So we probably wouldn't have heard of them as a provide the services to businesses only. However, improving workflow and improving productivity actually pays, right? We all know, whatever industry that you are in, that saving time means more time to do the things that you want to do. So whether that's creating, working, reading, exercising, time is a very valuable resource. So for that reason, this company is doing pretty well. So the second company I want to talk about is Splunk. I'm not gonna lie, I have been interested in this stock for a number of years now. Its share price has almost quadrupled in 5 years. Can you imagine? And it produces software for big data analytics. And interestingly, its products are used to detect hacking threats across global companies. They've got quite an interesting thing going on. Again, a brilliant business model. It's not a stock we'd know about unless you were actually looking, to be honest. The last and final stock I want to talk about is Zendesk. And to be honest, you have probably used it without actually realizing. So Zendesk works through machine learning and AI. And what it does is simulates chatbots to manage customer service queries. The AI is designed to imitate you, but you kind of have to doubt yourself, and you're like, actually, was that even a real person I was talking to? So what I'm trying to say is the company simulates chatbots to manage customer service queries, right? And that's bringing that human touch into conversations. So once the problem has been identified, or in most cases resolved automatically, given the continuous rise of e-commerce, these bots can provide a personal service while maintaining a leaner customer service team, right? So one classic example is Deliveroo. So I think my husband ordered something on Deliveroo a few weeks ago, and then he realized, well, we had to complain about the order because there was an item missing, right? And he was chatting away, and it was a chat bot. So depending on his answer, he would be referred to a real person or not. But it was quite interesting because he was just playing around with the bot for ages, asking stupid questions, and I was like, this is sad times, guys. So there you have it. FAANGS can be an incredibly rewarding area to invest in, though when looking at stocks, it is easy to follow the crowd, and it does take a little bit of time and effort to find the lesser known, contrarian opportunities even. That's where the value is usually found, okay? So don't take excessive risks, have your risk management in place. But for now, that's a wrap. Let me know down there in the comments below what your favourite FAANG stocks are right now. And don't forget to hit that like button, it really helps with my channel. I'm still a new channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. All your support is greatly appreciated. Cheers guys, bye!